Okay, so here we are. We're looking at the MyOpenMath question for linear regression and correlation. And this is the field that you're going to be pasting your data into. And as I said before, this needs to be formatted in a special way for the rest of the problem to be done. Okay. So this tutorial is to show you how to take your data file in Microsoft Excel and export only the data that you need so that you can open it in a text editor, copy and paste it into this question, and thereby finish working on this problem. The linear regression one or the histogram one. So for the histogram question, you need only one column. For the linear regression and correlation question, you need two columns. Okay. So this is a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet of data that I have for roller coasters. So your data is going to look a little different, but the process is still going to be the same. So I've got a tab, which is a copy of my original data. This is called raw data. And I want to make a histogram of the height random variable. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I don't modify or delete, my raw data. So I'm going to right click on it and then choose move or copy. And you want to make sure that you check create a copy. And I'm going to put it in front of this tab. Okay, this coaster is 2015 too. And so when I click OK, it's going to put a new tab right here, right after raw data. So if I click OK, so there's the new tab. And it's got this parentheses to say that it's a duplicate of this one. And all we want is the height. So I'm going to left double click this tab, which is the new one we made. And that lets me rename it. And I'm going to call this height only. And then hit enter. All right. So now that we've renamed this tab, we want to delete all of the other columns in this spreadsheet except this height column. So we can left click column A, hold down the shift key, and now left click column D. That'll select A and everything between that and column D. And now we can right click one of these columns and choose delete. Okay, and that deleted all the columns to the left of height. Now I'm going to click out here to the side so it deselects this. And all I want now is column A. So I'm going to delete all of these. So left click column B, hold down the shift key, left click column E. And now I can right click and choose delete. And now all those columns are gone. So we're almost there. The column of data needs to be data only, not the label. So that was the reason why I had you name the tab first, is because now we're going to delete this row. And so once you delete this row, you might forget what this data represents. So that's why we named the tab the same name as the data that we're leaving behind. So left click row 1, then right click in the same spot. And oh, there should have been a delete, but I don't see it. Okay. Left click, see, right click. Okay, it should let me delete it, and it's not letting me do it, maybe because this control box is here. let me figure this out and I will come back. Okay, I figured it out. So if you should have something that looks like this, the way that you can get rid of it is, so if you go to the data menu and then over here on sort and filter, if you click on the cell that has that expandable box, you'll notice that filter is selected. So if I left click this, it will deselect filter and it gets rid of that control box. And I think now if I left click this row and then right click it, oh, I thought it was going to let me delete it. All right, I'll be back. One problem solved, but still have a new problem. Okay, I think I figured out this mystery, which is good in case you have this problem. So you'll notice that when I click on a row, I want to delete this row. But there's two things that are a problem. It's that when I right click, delete is ghosted. Okay, it should let me do it. And also if I come over here, I'm in the home menu. If I come over to the cells subpart, subribbon, delete is ghosted. So it won't let me delete the row. And the reason why is that with this row selected, come over here to table design. So this table design menu will appear. Notice it's gone. Once you click on the row, table design shows up. Left click on table design, and you see where this header row is checked. Uncheck that. And now that word header or that word height just went away. If I left click on that row and now right click, I can choose delete. All right, or left click. And if I come over here, I'm in the home ribbon, come over to here to cells, you can see delete is no longer ghosted. So I could put delete sheet rows. Now it's gone. Okay, so after all of that, we finally have everything gone except for the column of data that we need. So now we can go to the File menu, come down to Export, choose Change File Type, and on all of these file types, there's this one, which says CSV, which is a comma delimited file. So left click that, choose Save As. Okay, and it's going to open a Save As dialog box. I want to put it in the Downloads directory. And I'm going to give it the name of my spreadsheet file name and then dash height only. So this one I have to type it in. And just to kind of confirm, you can see where it says Save As type, comma, separated value. And it also gives us that 3-letter file extension, CSV. So now we can hit save. And it's giving me a warning. It says the selected file type does not support workbooks that contain multiple sheets. To save only the active sheet, click OK. And we do. We only want to save this sheet. So click OK. All right. And it wasn't very nice. It renamed our whole tab. All right. Let me double click this and put it back to the way I had it, which was height only. All right. Let's look at that file in the downloads directory. So here it is. So this was the name of my Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And this is the name of the tab that I typed in. And it's in CSV format. Once again, Microsoft Windows is recognizing this as an Excel spreadsheet. So if I double click it, it'll open in Excel, and I do not want that. Instead, right click the file and choose open with, so you can open it with a basic text editor like Notepad or WordPad. So I'm going to click Notepad. And now you can see this is the text file with only the column of data that I want. So at this point, I would choose Edit, select all, Edit, Copy. Now all of this has been copied into memory. I would then go into my Open Math, and in the histogram problem, I would now paste, left click to put the cursor there and paste it in. And that's all you need to do. And then you can submit and continue with the problem. All right, so that is how to get one column of data. Let's go back to the Excel spreadsheet and let's export 2 columns worth of data. So I'm going to go back to raw data, and I need to duplicate this tab. So right click on raw data, choose move or copy. Make sure you click create a copy, and we want to put the copy before this sheet. So we want to put it before this height only tab that we just made. And so click OK. And you can see it created a new raw data tab here. And we are going to, the only 2 columns we want to save are speed and height. So I'm going to double click this tab, and I'm going to call this speed versus height and hit enter. Okay, so we want to delete these 3 columns, A, B, and C, leave speed and height alone, and then delete these 4 columns to the right. So left click on column A, come over to column C, hold down the shift key first, left click column C. Now you can let go of the shift key. Then we can right click on column B and choose delete. Okay, there those go. Now we want to get rid of the selection, so I'm just going to left click out here to make that selection go away. All right, so we want to keep speed and we want to keep height. So I'm going to click column C, left click, come over here to column F, hold down the shift key first, left click the mouse button. Now I can let go of the shift key, and these 4 columns are selected. Right click one of these columns and choose delete. Okay, so now we have the 2 columns of data that we want, speed and height, but we need to get rid of this row. Okay, and we had a problem with that before, but we figured it out. So we want to select row 1, and let's see, was that under data? Oh, yes. Our table design. What happens if we just click header row? Oh, good. It got rid of that altogether. All right. So we eliminated this as the header row. So now it should let us delete it. And now we've got 2 columns of data. And now we just have to export this. So come over here to the File menu, left click, go down to Export, left click, go to Change File Type, left click, go to CSV, and left click, and choose Save As. Okay, it brings up the Save As window. I want to put this in this downloads directory, so that looks fine. This is going to be speed versus height. So I want to give this a name which describes what's in it. So speed versus height. And I'm going to click save. Again, before I click save, make sure it says .csv and where it says save as type, it says comma separated value. So we'll hit save. It's going to give me this error saying, are you sure you want to do this? Click OK. And, it frustratingly renamed my tab. So I'm going to double click that, name this back to speed versus height. All right. So let's double check that it did what I wanted it to do. And I'm going to go back to my downloads directory. Here is my new text file that's in comma separated value format. Again, you want to make sure that you open this in Notepad or WordPad. So to make sure that only that occurs, you want to right click, choose Open With, and choose Notepad. And now here is the data formatted where row 1 is 120, 420, row 2 is 100, 415, and so on. If we come back here and we look at what MyOpenMath is going to expect, it's going to expect column 1's data, comma, column 2's data. So column 1, comma, column 2, just like what we've got here. So at this point, you would just hit Edit, select all, edit, copy, and then go back over to the MyOpenMath question, put left click here to put the cursor there and hit paste and paste it in. And then you should be able to continue with this problem. All right, so that concludes how to take an Excel spreadsheet and export either 2 columns or 1 column's worth of data and kind of overcoming a few complications along the way.